Now let's look at the items that we have been given to present by the Kind Tempo Storm team for Jules. So the items are as follow. We're going to start off with talking about Jules, her flavor, and her mechanics a little bit first. So here we have an example of what a Jules mechanic looks like. And as you can guess from the very strong coloring of blue and orange, her mechanic is going to have to do something related to cooking, which is to be heated or to be chilled. Now, it works a bit different to other heroes, similar to a way a Dooley core is specific for Dooley and very difficult to get a hold on as another hero or to use well. Jules has a very specific gimmick to her, and that is putting in these new slates on her board underneath the items that will come over. So, currently, we do not know how easy they are going to be to obtain. Is it going to be something like you can cover your whole board in these, or you can get like one per run, or maybe you unlock some at certain leveling points? We do not know yet. And here we have an example of what a chilling pad would look like and a heating pad as well on the right. There's also an example of what an item with an activated chilled or heated, right, kind of warming up system looks like. So it gets kind of a hue over it that indicates the activation of the special effect. Now, as you can see, even though the heating pad here is small, if you use a larger item and position it over the pad at any point of the item, I presume it's going to work the same with large items. The item can be activated for its special effect that activates only when heated or chilled. Now, taking a look at Jules items that we have been given, we're going to start off with something you guys have seen before. It is a small item which starts off at bronze. It's a fire item with a 6-second cooldown called black pepper. The tag that it comes along with is food. Now, early burn items are usually very useful because in early shops and early leveling event, you can acquire fire skills very easily. I assume that Jules is going to be packed up with food, so in case she runs into a let's say small tiny furry monster, by any chance, she will probably have food on her and will be able to pick a skill. So skills are going to be readily available to her, I'm guessing, which means that burn on its own is going to be a bit stronger than for some other heroes, maybe something like Mac. You see an early available burn item, you pick it up. It also has an interesting text at the bottom, which is charge adjacent items 1 second. Now, charge 1 second is not huge, especially since you cannot charge the black pepper itself. It goes off at 6 seconds. But because there is an S in the bracket at seconds there in the text of the item, we could maybe assume that it could scale up to more than 1 second at higher rarity of the item. Now let's look at the next item we have been given. Now it's called a trail mix. Trail mix is a small item which starts off at bronze. It also carries the food tag along with it, and it says at 8 seconds, gain 5 region for the fight. Now this is a quest item, and I like the flavor of the item that it is a quest item, since this kind of a bag is something you would carry with you to a hike. Like, you generally don't want something that can melt on you or something that can spill. You want something firm and very nutritious, such as a trail mix bag. So you kind of do go on a quest with this item in real life. I do, at least. Now here we can see that if we complete the first part of the quest, which is selling 20 food, I imagine it's going to be very doable on Jules. You can acquire probably a cooldown reduction. I would guess that is the icon on the right side of the tooltip. And the second part of the quest would be to sell 40 food items, which is also very doable, I believe. If you run into trail mix early, you can stack it in your bag. It's a small item, it will not take up a lot of space. You can get a multicast on it. Now, we have seen that Jules is very, very capable of developing boards which are related to gaining regen and scaling shield off of it. Now, how it will translate into damage, I do not know yet, but I am certain we will figure it out when all 110 items have been released. Now, the next item we have here, finally, we're going to talk about cooking a little bit here, and it's a prep station. That's something that I told myself I will definitely have in my next apartment. Like, that's one of the biggest mistakes I made about this apartment that we streamed from. I think it really makes a kitchen pop. So prep station here, it's a 6-second item. It's a medium item that starts at silver this time. It is a tool item. It says that this is interesting. Your food gain plus 10 shield, plus 1 burn, and plus 1 regen for the fight. So it is a buffing item. Now the bottom of the item is interesting as well. Whenever you see extra text at the bottom of an item that starts with when you insert any sort of effect, usually followed by charge, that makes an item at least usable for your boards in specific situations, if not always a useful item. So when you use an adjacent tool, charge this 2 seconds. Now you could be wondering, what kind of a tool could we be using? Many times next to a prep station, a buffer item that could buff shield, burn, and regen. And voila, we have a tool with a multicast. Now, the difference when it comes to tools with multicast for Mac, that of course the macroscope being like a small item with a high multicast quantifier, but here we have a skillet. It is a medium-sized item. However, it starts off at bronze, which makes it bronze with fire, with multicast. It's probably going to be an instant pickup for early, I was about to say Mac, for early Jules boards. I can imagine, I've actually seen on the Discord that some people have been commenting what happened to the skillet. Where is the skillet? Here is the skillet. I hope I'm pronouncing that word right. It is a, as we said, medium item. It has 2 tags, so that is going to make it valuable as well. I think both a tool and a food. It makes the skillet very, very flexible to position around your board and to fit into early game boards. It also has a multicast, so for each adjacent food, this gains 1 multicast. So you can use it, you can use, let's say, a prep session to buff it, you can use 2 foods to give it multicast, and then early on, these are going to be working pretty well together. Even without the buffing on its own, with multicast early, it should work really well. Speaking about the next item, let's talk about the topic of the items that have been given to me, and that is an aesthetic that I actually really, really like, which is the Gingerbread Man and the Gingerbread House. So Stelle is no stranger to coming up with some amazing, amazing cake recipes and beautiful cookies, cakes, any sort of pastry that she makes. We can see that in her skins, everything, the art, everything about Jules. So of course it would be natural that she would have a gingerbread man board. It's kind of reminiscent of a pig board with the bees and the beehive. So I'm thinking it could be very, very fun to play around with. Now let's take a look at the gingerbread man first. They are a small bronze item. They have shielding on them. The tags that they carry are food and friend being very important. Now, it's more important for other heroes, I guess, to find the friend tag for the Tiny Furry Monster event where they can pick up a skill than for Jules, because she really kind of has food right from the get-go on her, and other heroes don't. So for them, it's more logical to look for a friend. But here we're going to be mostly playing food, right? Now, the Gingerbread Man is a small bronze item that has a 5-second cooldown item. It shields 10, and look at the bottom text of the item. It says when you use a tool, charge this 1 second. which means it can be combined with a tool that is food related really, really well. Now, whether that's going to be like maybe a prep station, which could buff it a lot, right? It could buff the gingerbread man quite well. It could charge it a little bit, but 6 seconds is not much, I guess. Maybe they could kind of scale off of each other. But I'm generally thinking that the gingerbread man is going to be combined and played with an item that actually kind of produces gingerbread man, and that's going to be the gingerbread house. Now, before that, I want to talk about an economic item that I have been given as well from the Tempo team, and that is the cookbook. The cookbook is a 4-second item, which is interesting for an income item. Basically, there are items that we keep in our stash when we play the bazaar, and there are items that you use on your board. Usually those do not come in one item, both of those functions. However, the cookbook has a 4-second cooldown. That will probably make it playable, if nothing else. It also says charge a food 2 seconds. So basically, if you were to have a cookbook that would charge, I would guess, more seconds on higher rarities, if you were to have one and just one food that you want to use as a carry item, you could like probably streamline your charging on a really important food item this way by using this tool called the cookbook. At the bottom, you can see the economic part of it, and it says at the start of each day, upgrade a food of a lower tier. So it works kind of as a boots for food, or there's also a tool option right in Stelle items that does the same. So cookbook is probably going to see a lot of play and stash, maybe even on the board. And the last item, and the one that I'm the most excited to talk about, because it looks fabulous, right? It looks like one of those Hansel and Gretel fantasy kind of houses that you could just start eating and then the witch comes along. So specifically this item here, it is a large item called the gingerbread house. It starts off at silver. So it could be obtained with the curio magics of picking up a bronze item, transforming it, and then getting a gingerbread house. I haven't seen large bronze items coming out from Jules yet, so could be maybe doable. But I don't know if you get a hold of a catalyst, I guess. Now, the gingerbread house is a 7-second cooldown item, and it is the item that actually features Stell's specific gimmick, and that is heated. And it says that, let's read the bottom of the text actually. First, at the start of each day, get a gingerbread man. So when you use another food, gain 25 shield. It means that when you use another food, it could be either on the board or it could be used as in when you sell it, maybe you could get something, right? Maybe that could be a use of food, using food because you kind of consume it. So it's a stacking item, not just only for the fight that is important, it's generally a stacking item. Now you want to stack this armor to really high numbers, because then once you turn on the heating oven from underneath the gingerbread house, the heated effect comes into play, and it says burn equal to 10% of your shield. So normally burn enchants with shield only items such as a fixer-upper would have a 5% 5% value of the shield reflected in the burn. Here we have a 10%. So if you were to enchant it, it would be double, right? It would be 20%, which is 4 times the amount you would get with the fixer-upper enchanted with fire. So this could be a very interesting carry item, I think, on the board. The tags are food property, which is unique. I haven't seen many property items yet coming out from Jules, but that's probably because we haven't seen all of her items being released yet. So yeah, that's about it for the 7 items that we have been given by the kind Tempo Storm team to present. And now we're gonna go back to our play a little bit while we wait for the tournament to start at 8 o'clock, when we're gonna tune in and watch 3 amazing streamers cook with some Jules items in limited time constrictions. Is that proper English? I think it was.